This is Nadine with DIY Sweets. Today I'm going to show you how to make a low-calorie apple cobbler. First thing we need to do is we need to make the topping or the crust that's going to go on top. To do that, we are going to put our 1/4 cup flour in our bowl and the oats and the brown sugar. I want to break that up a little bit as I'm putting it in the bowl so it's not one big clump. And we want to add the salt, the ginger, and the cinnamon. Now I just want to mix this up. I'm using the pastry blender because I'm going to be kneading it in a minute when I add the butter. First I want to get these all mixed together. With that all mixed together, I now want to break my light butter into this mixture. So using the pastry blender, it's going to break it into the mixture so that we start having clumps. And the mixture starts sticking together. You'll notice we're starting to get a lot of big clumps. Still have a little bit of fine powder, so we want to get that mixed in too. So as you see now, this resembles pretty much our coarse crumbs that we're looking for. Now I'm going to add my little bit of water. And now I want it to form big clumps. So I'm going to actually use my fingers to mix it all in, make sure I have big clumps. That water just helps bind it all together. Because when I'm ready to add this to the apples, I'm going to be going like this and just sprinkling it onto the apples. We need it all to be mixed well. So this now is ready to go on top of the apples. Now we need to get the apples ready. To make the filling for the apples, what we want to do in this large bowl is we are going to put in our sugar substitute or our Trevia, and we're going to put in our flour, and we're going to put in our nutmeg and cloves. And we're just going to mix this up. Now the liquid for this the filling is going to be the juices from the apple. So we're going to put the apples into this bowl as we peel and cut them apart. We have our board here and we have our apple. What I want to do is I like to use this apple slicer, and I want to try to center that center part to where the core is, and then I just press down. Once I press down like that, I just separate the apples from that core. I'm now going to take these apples and I want to get the skin off them, because I don't want to have skin in my apple cobbler. This is bigger than I want because I'm going to be putting these into the small ramekins. So I want my apples to be cut up fairly small. This gave me a start. Now I'm ready to cut them smaller. So what I do now is I just want to make these slices thinner like that, and then I'm going to cut each slice like in third. Now what I do is I just take this apple and I stick it in there. I'm not worried about stirring it around yet, because I want to get my apples in there first. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do that exact same thing with all of my apples. This is the part of making apple cobbler that takes a lot of time, because it takes a while to cut the apples. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do this with my 3 pounds of apples. You go ahead and do it with your 3 pounds of apples. And we'll meet back here once all of our apples are done. I have finished cutting up my apples, so I'm going to add the vanilla, and then I'm just going to stir these apples to coat them with that filling mix. And I want to keep stirring until all the apples are coated. And you may feel like you don't have any filling mix left, and so it's pointless to keep stirring. But as you stir them, the stuff that's on the apples that have too much is going to come off on the others, and it's going to help make it so that they're all coated. That's all stirred. Now we're ready to just add this to our ramekins and add the topping. The ramekins we want to spray down before we put this in, and I also want to put them on a baking sheet so that I can stick them all in the oven very easily. So I'll be back in just a minute with the ramekins. I've sprayed my ramekins down, so now I'm just going to spoon my apples into the ramekins. And I'm not sure yet how many ramekins this is going to fill, because the recipe actually called to put it into a casserole dish, but I wanted to make individual servings with this, so I'm doing it in the ramekins. We'll see as we spoon if it's 10 or 12 or more. I actually did not quite do all of the apples because I found that this looked like plenty of apples without adding the others. So I didn't do as many apples as it said to do. And looks like as we do this, we're easily going to get the 10 that I thought we would get, and possibly 1 or 2 more than that. So with that being the case, I'm not sure if the filling will be enough or if I need to mix up some more filling. So we will figure that out as we sprinkle it on top, and if we need more, then we will add more. So there's the 10 that I thought we would get, and it looks like we've got at least enough for 1 more. Don't know if I have enough for 2 more. But that's okay, because I actually thought there would only be 10 out of it. And we got 11. So now I just want to kind of even out. And now all we need to do is take this topping that we made and break it up into nice small crumbles and put it on the top. And as I said, because this was supposed to just go on a casserole dish, so there was probably more apples per thing, and this is going to have a little bit more crumble, which is still going to be really good. I'm not sure yet how much of this I'll need, and if I'll need to mix some more up. So I'm just going to do this until I have used it all up, and you notice I'm just crumbling it up and covering the top with the apple crumble. Oops. So you go ahead and do that with yours, and once you have them all done, and once I have them all done, we'll show you what we do. I have the topping on all of the apple crisps. I ended up making another batch of the topping, so I'll have to recalculate what the calories will be. Still going to be well under 200, because we also made 11 instead of 10, which was what I originally figured the calories on. Now we're going to take this and we're going to cook it in the oven at 375. It says to cook it for 30 minutes. Now that's because it's expecting you to use a big casserole dish. I'm going to set my timer for just 15 minutes. And then I'm going to check it. And then I'll check it about every 5 minutes after that until it's done. So I'm going to put it in the oven, and then I will let you know when it's totally done just how long it took. What we're looking for is we want the filling to be bubbling up and the topping to look like it's toasted. So we'll be back when this is done. Here is our apple cobblers. They did take the 30 minutes to cook. Our apple cobbler has now cooled and it's ready to be served. The apple cobbler with the added sprinkle on top came to 169 calories for the individual cobbler. You could eat it like this and stay under 200 calories. I like to eat it with a little bit of frozen yogurt. And so I have some fat-free frozen yogurt. It's a caramel praline. You could also use vanilla. And by just doing 1 scoop, which is half of a serving, instead of it being the 110 calories or 120, depending on what brand you buy, it's only going to be 50 or 60 calories, which then puts our dessert at just a teeny bit over 200. So if you've had a really good day on your calorie count and you're well below what you need, you can add that scoop of ice cream on top and just be barely over 200 at about 220 or 229. Not bad for a scrumptious, yummy dessert. I suggest, like with all cobblers, that if you've let this cool like I have, that you just take this cobbler and stick it in the microwave for about 30 seconds. That's all it's going to take to warm it up. And then after you've warmed it up for 30 seconds, you want to just take your ice cream, and you don't need a whole lot. You just want to get 1 scoop of ice cream on top of your cobbler. And there you have a delicious fall dessert. Individual apple cobblers with a fat-free frozen yogurt. Here is our apple crisp cobbler. Really easy to make, low on calories. Bake it up tonight and enjoy it while watching a movie or sitting by the fire. This is our apple crisp. Enjoy and happy baking.